In 2013, prior to his election as councillor, David Oyns was reiterating in the media numerous possible sites, but already vetoed by North Somerset Council. Clearly his councillor contacting the council was not giving him accurate information. Councillor Peter Burden reported in January 2013 that he suggested to skatepark members the golf course should be looked at because the town council, quote, had informed North Somerset Council that it was interested in taking over the management of this land, close quote. While this was impossible because the district council wanted to market the land as a concession, the site would also not be suitable because some district councillors had criticised Kilkenny Fields for not being central enough. Felicity Baker was one of them. The golf course, therefore, would surely be worse than Kilkenny Fields. That's discussed further on other videos. There is one thing I cannot understand. Why is Councillor Nigel Ashton seemingly so powerful that he can change the mind of his Tory party councillors from thinking one thing to doing another, from being for a location to being against it, without contributory evidence? Can those district councillors not think for themselves, or can they only do Nigel Ashton's bidding? On other videos, I have taken you up onto Kilkenny, onto the golf course, onto Battery Point, and the site of the tennis courts, to give some sort of understanding what other sites were available. Like many, I am tired of the political games and feel Portishead youth deserve better. Some engaged in the political games long before becoming a councillor, such as David Oyns, who, in another attempt to stop the skate park at the Lake Grounds, submitted an application to North Somerset Council for reassigning this site that I'm sitting on with town green status. His Conservative ward councillor at the time, and obviously clearly advising him, neglected to give Mr Oyns comprehensive facts, not for the first time, and forgot to explain to Mr Oyns that North Somerset Council would throw out the application based on the current categorisation of this land, which incidentally would not prevent a skate park nor a bandstand. What a wasted opportunity down here at the Lake Grounds. However, to prevent further animosity and to avoid the constant reiteration of the facts regarding the Lake Grounds, Kilkenny Fields appears to have achieved informal majority North Somerset councillor support, and surely would do again unless those councillors were playing an altogether different game of red herrings to obstruct progress, where politics came before our wonderful town of Portishead. Kilkenny was vetoed by North Somerset councillor member Annette, partly because he received complaints from David Pasley as evidenced in writing. Gordana School, another site investigated by David Pasley, did not progress, not because of Portishead Skatepark Project, but because the site was not as suitable as this site at the Lake Grounds. And in fact, it was David Pasley who scuppered any chance of a skate park at Gordana, because he incurred the wrath of head teacher Gary Lewis, who had become angered by Mr Pasley giving incorrect statements to the press. Mr Lewis eventually addressed this by writing his own letter to the press. The site was certainly not as suitable in planning terms as the Lake Grounds. There has been much said about application for consent for North Somerset Council for the skate park at the Lake Grounds, also known by some incorrectly as landlord's consent. Reading the Town Council minutes recently, and you will see yet more inaccurate comment by David Pasley, yet the facts are on the following video.